AI is going to stay here and it is going to enable us to better the customer experience significantly. Though machine is going to take care of a lot of transactional activities, the strategizing that how it should get orchestrated from the better customer experience, that will still remain in the control of human beings.
Welcome everyone to yet another episode of the Growth Genius powered by Infidigit. This is where we bring to you growth stories in marketing and business. Without further ado, join me in welcoming Mr. Prasad Pimple, who is the EVP and Head of Digital Business Unit at Kotak Life. Prasad, thanks a lot for coming on the Growth Genius podcast. It's truly a pleasure for us to have you here on the show.
Thanks, Mehul. Thanks for this podcast.
Right. So, Prasad, I wanted to understand a few things on marketing. So, marketing has changed a lot over the past few years. How do you reach out to your consumers in this digital age?
Yeah, so now I have seen marketing over the last 20 years. It has definitely changed. But one thing is not changed, or I would say two things have not changed. One is how do we reach to the consumers, the target consumers? The modes have changed over the years. Earlier, we used to do direct mailing activity where we used to send a physical mailer to the customer. Then we started sending emailers, and today we reach out to the customers with the help of a lot of digital platforms which have come up, including Google, the Meta Universe. All those platforms are available through which we can reach out to the customers. And the second part, which is how do I engage the customers with my communication? How do I create that interest for my products and services? These two things have not changed. Modes have changed, the mediums have changed, but the way we conduct the marketing activity to generate the customer awareness, build that awareness into a consideration, that consideration into a purchase intent, and finally purchase intent to actual acquisition, that funnel has not changed much. The good part is now with the help of digital platforms and the digital tracking, the analytics with the multiple solutions available, I can track the entire funnel. Earlier, that funnel was quite vague. We were not able to track the funnel, but now that opportunity is available. So, from that particular perspective, consumers have not changed, but their expectations have changed. What they expect now is a quicker understanding of my product through my communication. Earlier, I would send a DM to the customer, they will go through it. Earlier, I would send a long form content to them, they will go through it. But today, those preferences are changing. Customers have their own preferred mode of content consumption. I might like a consumption of content in form of a video. Somebody might like in form of audio. Somebody might like in the form of the nice infographic. Somebody might like in form of a text. So those things keep changing. So from that particular perspective, it has become more challenging. Earlier, it was more demographic-led segmentation, and demographic-led segmentation used to convert into a communication for those specific demographics. Now that is not the scenario. Within demographics, I need to find multiple things. For example, I am as a consumer, I like the content which is more data oriented and which is more text oriented, rather than believing and trusting a video which is coming my way. I believe more on something which is written, printed in a well articulated, data driven manner. I prefer that kind of a communication. Now when it comes to Mehul might feel that okay, a communication which is more emotional, which has more emotional appeal into it, which is more video based, which is nudging my correct emotion towards the product, that is what is helping Mehul to understand that particular product better. So it's not just demographics. Demographic wise, Mehul and Prasad are similar age, and everything is similar. But when it comes to their consumption of content, that is varying a lot. Their preferences are changing a lot, and that's where the challenge which has come as a part of this entire marketing to the consumers. That how do I reach to the consumers, his or her preferred mode of communication, as well as the preferred type of communication. This is archetype rather than demographics. That's where the major shift in marketing has happened with this digital age.
That's quite true and fascinating with the kind of development that has happened with the tools, the consumers have also become smart, and they also want reward in less than 24 hours or in less than few minutes in some industries. That's very well put. And obviously the communication has to be more and more personalized for us to get in touch with those consumers. So, yeah, very well
That's
said,
true.
Prasad. Thanks for that. Yeah. What is your take on AI in marketing?
Yeah, I think AI in marketing is going to be a far bigger thing. See, normally how I look at it, if something gets early success, a trend, if it starts getting early success, then its scale up is really, really fast. Right? So normally most of people say that okay, when it comes to the products and the adoption of the services, the Facebook took this many years to reach a billion mark, or a new service has taken maybe a couple of weeks to reach that particular mark. I heard sometime back that ChatGPT took some hours to reach that kind of a mark. If that kind of an adoption is happening in case of AI and Gen AI, and from the marketing perspective, already so many solutions have gone into which will enhance the customer experience. I think in case of marketing, the AI will completely change the current landscape. So I'll give you a couple of my thoughts around it. So number one thought is, when it comes to communication development, the biggest roadblock for personalization or hyper personalization was creating the content. So much of content, if I need to create for every type of customer segment, or a micro segment, or a nano segment, or where every customer itself is a segment, then I need to create so many communications. I need to develop those particular part. Today, Gen AI based apps or modules can quickly do that job for you. So that is one part, which is communication development, where AI is going to come big time. Started making some kind of an impact, but I think couple of years it will become a significantly bigger contributor. The second part which will come is targeting the right customer at the right time with an efficient media buying, so automated media buying kind of an activity. Today what happens that you do a lot of campaigns, you generate insights, and you utilize those insights for the future campaigns. So normally this cycle works on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, and you decide what insights I'm getting from the previous campaign, and how do I optimize my future campaign or my next week campaign basis the insights I'm getting. It is still slightly manual in nature, where you end up analyzing the data and finding out insights. I think after a few months, I'm not even talking about years, I think machine will do on their own. That how do I optimize my media buying, targeting the right customer, taking the real-time insights from the campaigns, whatever has happened today, getting out the insights on their own and applying those insights on the next day campaign. I think it is going to happen automatically and not manually. Yes, when machine is going to compete with another machine, there will be few challenges, but let's see how it goes in future. The third important part, which is definitely going to happen, is consumer, instead of doing a plain search on a Google platform or a Bing platform, they might start shifting towards something like Gen AI based chat GPT kind of a solution. And sooner we all need to start worrying about not just organic searches on Google and organic searches on YouTube. We need to give equal importance to organic searches on, or organic queries, not either searches, organic queries on chat GPT kind of a platform, and then connecting it back to what we are currently doing. So that particular thing will soon come, whether it is Gemini or it is the chat GPT. It will definitely come, that solution, sooner than later. And the fourth important part is, though machine is going to take care of a lot of transactional activities, the strategizing, that how it should get orchestrated from the better customer experience, that will still remain in the control of human beings. Because I don't think that control can go to a machine completely, because that might cause few challenges. That's what I mentioned, that when machine competes with other machine. So how I look at it from that perspective, that when it comes to managing the overall campaigns, when machine is competing with another machine, and that will create a lot of challenges. It will all depend upon how we human beings strategize our entire campaign orchestration so that the customer experience is not getting impacted. That particular part will play an important role, and where the entire not just one like for in case of SEO, so many rules are written by Google and so many logics and everything they have put in. Something similar, the AI engine or maybe the chat GPT engine has to create so that it will provide that seamless experience to the customers. So I think that's that way the overall marketing or the AI role in marketing will come in. The second important part, that human interactions which we are having with the customers over a manual chat or even a telephonic conversation with the customers, that might undergo a lot of transformation when it comes to AI in marketing. Not just the text part of it, not just the image part of it, not just the video part of it, but even the interactions which we have with the customers, that will also undergo transformation with the help of AI. And AI is going to stay here, and it is going to enable us to better the customer experience significantly, because once trained, it can deliver that consistent experience to the customers. Yes, in a complex situation, you will require a human being and with a lot of emotions into it to tackle the customers. But in most of the activities, I think bot can take care of even the human interactions. And um, how I look at it, that a human being can get tired in the evening, and that can give a poor experience to the customers. Human can forget particular point of a particular product proposition, and that can create a poor customer experience. But the consistency which AI model or AI bot can provide to the customer, I think that itself will transform the overall BFSI or most of the industries in the coming future.
Wonderful. That was pretty elaborate. I mean, you covered something that is actually, on the cutting edge of AI right now. As you talked about, harnessing the consumer experience. So, in fact, I came across a startup which is basically an AI platform, and it is done by somebody who is, exceptionally good at AI. So he works with the government and the military, etc. On stealth projects. So he came to us and he showed us this product where they capture the emotions of the consumers in healthcare and other sectors, and they give a detailed report in terms of what are the negative or the positive aspects of this experience, and this pertain to which department. So that was pretty exciting. They had come to our office,
Correct.
Hyderabad based. They came to
Yeah,
our office and actually showed this to us. They are a good friend of ours. So yeah, you nailed it at the in the last point, that this is something which also AI can do. That gathering of these
correct.
softer aspects of consumer experience and actually translating it into actionable points for the management. So that is something that is, they have started
Yeah,
doing that already. Wonderful.
completely agree. That entire transformation of AI, in not just in
Yeah,
marketing
every
but
aspect. Yeah,
every field of business,
he
is
did it
going to
with the
come.
government. He worked on the
Yeah,
elections, and in which constituency you should work, you should use what kind of word depending upon the earlier feedback of the speeches made by the candidate. So it was
correct.
something very interesting to know. So, Prasad, I wanted to ask you, your professional life has transitioned across various industries. So, please tell us more about your journey.
Yeah, so when I talk about my professional life and the number of industries I've worked in, I never decided upon a particular industry that this is what I want to do. Once I have finished my MBA, I wanted to work in the field of marketing and business. And from that particular perspective, through campus, I got into Kotak Mahindra Bank. That was year 2005. And at that point in time, I got the role of brand marketing in Kotak Mahindra Bank. Kotak Mahindra Bank at that point in time was a smaller bank, had just got the license from regulator, and my role was predominantly to launch branches at that point of time and build awareness for Kotak Mahindra Bank. And that's where I got introduced to the field of marketing in a real sense. and that was my introduction to understanding the consumers, my introduction to understanding the consumer behavior, then launching the branches, looking at the if I talk about every branch at that point of time used to get launched in a new city. It used to be the first branch in that city. The experience was wonderful to understand the local culture, what did they look forward to in a bank, and then accordingly plan the entire marketing activity and initiatives. That was my initial role, and that gave me a lot of understanding about how the customer experience and how the customer understanding, customer behavior results into a proper brand positioning and the brand awareness building. From there, I wanted to get into the business side of it. It's marketing not just from the perspective of generating awareness and consideration for the brand, but also convert that awareness consideration into a purchase intent and convert that purchase intent into a final business, manage the entire P&L. And that's where I moved into ICICI Bank and I started managing the credit card portfolio. There again, my role was to manage the value-added services to be cross-sold on credit card customer base, and that was my first P&L experience, which helped me generate a lot of business understanding. That's how I moved into the business part of it, where marketing has become one of the most important enablers to the business rather than just one particular function. The kind of learnings I got in ICICI Bank from the perspective of credit card management, how to look at the customer life cycle management, how to use that life cycle management into a cross-sell modeling, when to pitch, what to pitch, and how do we build the entire customer value framework. That was the true business PLN management experience which I got, which later on I used it in the change in the industry. I moved into telecom. I worked with a couple of telecom brands at that point of time, and at that point of time, the telecom was growing in India significantly. Every month, we were adding a million customers, and the entire learning of whatever I have got in Kotak Bank for understanding the consumers and whatever I got as a part of ICICI Bank in terms of understanding the P&L management, gone into the managing the customer acquisition as well as the customer usage and retention in telecom industry, and that's what I was managing for prepaid and postpaid customers in two companies I worked with, which is Vodafone and Tata Docomo. And then I moved into life insurance, where I started setting up the again the usage and retention functions for life insurance companies. Again, first in the industry. From that perspective, life insurance was always about acquiring new customers. It was not looking at that point of time in terms of selling more policies to the customers, getting more renewal, getting customer engagement done. That is how I started with a life insurance journey with HDFC Life. And then I moved into the e-commerce and digital marketing function, where I got introduced to entire digital marketing, performance marketing, the contact center management, and how do we convert the customer exploratory interest to a purchase. And that's where that got introduced. And then I moved into Kotak Life, managing a similar portfolio, but includes four business verticals. Because in Kotak Life, the digital business unit is like an SBU, where we have four business verticals: the D2C, online partnerships, digital banker, and digital alliances, coupled with the digital technology, because that becomes more important when it comes to digital business. And we created an entire digital business unit which can service the customers who want to purchase a life insurance policy on their own via a simplified journey. That's where the entire fun which has started happening, where we are now creating the solutions and journeys and customers are purchasing on their own. That's where the real fun is, and building and scaling that business is what I'm currently trying to do.
Obviously, we can see that with the interactions that we have with your team as well. So, thanks, Prasad, for taking us through your journey. It is quite interesting and exciting, I would say, especially the current role that you are playing. Somewhere it's like a culmination of all that you have done earlier is now, coming to play, so to say.
Correct. Yeah, I feel so. The way it has happened, it was not planned in that manner. I still believe in the concept that we you flow with the flow, and finally you reach the destination with whatever you have accumulated on the journey.
Can you share your insights on the relevance of content marketing here?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned in that previous point as well, what is happening currently as a part of the content marketing, customer preferences have changed. They want, and this is their archetype. I need to accommodate those preferences, that understanding of the customer or the expectation of the customer. What is relevance of content marketing in today's world? Most important part is, as I mentioned, that today I can track the entire customer funnel, right from my first communication to the customer, which is to just make him aware about my product or solution or service, to bring him to my website for more exploration of the product, to finally pushing that particular customer to create an intent for purchase, and finally creating the actual purchase. From that level, it has moved to some other level as well. The content marketing plays a very important role, not just in onboarding, but it also plays an in fact important role in terms of customer engagement, in terms of getting the renewals of the policies, getting the revival, getting references from the customer, then and finally the repurchase of another product with that particular customer. So relevance of content marketing is now across the customer lifecycle management and not just to the onboarding part of it. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to content marketing, I need to consider where exactly this customer is today in terms of the awareness, consideration, and the purchase journey. If somebody who is currently looking at, I would say, exploring the product, then the entire brand awareness, the trust, then capability of my particular product, all those things become far more important when it comes to content marketing. Like if I give the example of classic example of newspapers, why newspapers had that authentic, transparent, educational linkage to it, because the kind of content which was coming as a part of a printed newspaper, people always thought that it's authentic, and that used to create a lot of trust in the minds of people. Same thing what we need to do now today when it comes to a digital led content marketing, that content has to come across as authentic and transparent content. If I do not publish a content which is transparent and authentic and value added to the customer, then even if it is written in a great manner, it doesn't serve the purpose. So that is the number one insight I have, that create a content which is authentic and transparent. The second one, which is more about the customer engagement part of it, that if I have come to your page and I have consumed some content, or if you have gone through one of your communications or have gone through your video content, then customer expectation doesn't end there. The customer expectation is now lead me to the journey. And I'm not saying purchase journey, but the exploration journey. So customers expectation today is keep me updated, keep me informed, continuously nudge me why this is important. Because for any aspirational brand or any aspirational category, it is very easy to introduce the product solution to the customer, and that the need or the want for which that particular product is designed for gets triggered, and customers end up purchasing it. There is an impulse purchase which is associated with it. But in case of life insurance, it's a very thought through decision. There is no impulse purchase. Customer takes a lot of time to deliberate upon which insurance to be purchased, why, all those things come in. The purchase cycle is bigger, and hence this is the place where content marketing plays a very important role, to continuously engage with the customer, to keep him informed, continuously nudge the customer. All those things come into the picture, and once he has become the customer, once he has decided to move ahead and purchase a product, then as a customer, how do I keep him engaged about his policy activities, about his renewals, about the future needs or about the current needs, and a appropriate solution is available with the life insurance company. That activity without proper content marketing cannot be done, and that's where onboarding and customer lifecycle management or content marketing plays a very important role when it comes to any BFSR or life insurance company.
Since you talked about onboarding and customer lifecycle management, of course, before even onboarding comes, the searchability of the right consumer. So, that is what my next question is all about. So, where do you see organic search in the journey of building and growing the insurance business?
Yeah, I think it is the most important thing when it comes to organic search. I think when we talk about organic search, the important thing is that's the only aspect which is having some sort of customer pool. Rest all the communications across content marketing we do are the push based, where I am pushing the solution, I am generating the need. Whereas when it comes to organic search, that's where the customer has decided to explore the product on his or her own, and that's where the magic happens. It is most important thing, but at the same time it is the most difficult thing to execute when it comes to getting advantage out of a organic search, because organic search gives you a lot of things. Number one, if you are somebody searching a plain term insurance kind of a keyword, or a plain ulip kind of a keyword, the customer's expectation is to get more information about how term insurance works, the kind of premium term insurance charges, the kind of cover one can get out of it. All that information is what customer is seeking at that point of time. If my organic listing in that entire sub page is happening in 1, 2, 3 level, that's the best brand visibility any brand can today get. That beats any brand visibility today, because customer is searching for something and you pop up as a first choice or second choice or third choice or third listing. I think that's the best brand visibility. Second part, because there's a pull which is involved as a part of customer intent. It's not push, it's pull. The convergence, the purchase intent is better, and as a result, the purchase percentages are significantly better. So when it comes to return on investment, that return on investment on any organic search related activities is significantly higher as compared to what we get for any push campaign. So that is most important thing. The third important thing is that gives customer enough confidence and trust and credibility to the brand that you are listing when I'm searching for it. That means a lot of consumers are going through it. A lot of consumers are also saying the same thing what this particular customer is saying. They get enough confidence and trust with that particular listing. So that is another important thing. And the fourth important thing with this overall organic search in the journey of building any business would be the data driven insights. Somebody who is coming on their own and exploring the products and showing the purchase intent and purchasing the product, it gives me that preferred cohort which is currently looking at Kotak Life as a brand to explore and purchase the product. That gives me a lot of insights when I'm doing my push marketing campaigns, that this is the cohort which organically comes to you and looks for a life insurance solution and then go end up purchasing that particular product. Then how do I find those set of customers, similar cohorts, the lookalike customers in my push paid campaigns that yields a lot of positive results. And then later on, those same set of customers as a part of the full funnel marketing activity end up getting targeted, and when they feel interest in this entire product or solution, they end up coming organically to our website, and that results into a direct traffic, a direct brand preference, a direct consideration, and that's where the entire true sense of marketing starts. And I think organic search is the most important thing in this entire funnel.
Wonderful. Thanks for giving us that broad understanding of what organic search is all about, and probably rather it culminates into a more virtuous cycle of helping paid marketing as well and other marketing activities to gain more consumers, right? Thanks for that, Prasad. Coming to the next question, what strategies do you use for creating brand experiences that resonate with the Indian audience in insurance?
So there are many, but I go by something which is very simple, that do what customers expect from you. So understanding the customer expectation, that becomes the most important thing. Because once I know the expectations, then I can accordingly go about targeting the customer, accordingly do the personalization of the campaigns accordingly, do my process enhancement, my journey enhancement, that entire part, everything starts with what customers expect from you. Now, when it comes to a life insurance industry, what has happened that life insurance journey are not as simple as what I do on an ecom website, right? Ecom website or ecom app, it's easier to search the products you're looking for, select the product which is best suitable, and just click one or two clicks, you end up purchasing the product. You make the payment, the product will come to you, or if it is a service, it will get delivered to your email ID in fraction of seconds, or on WhatsApp in fraction of seconds. But if it's a life insurance, that journey is
True.
not that simple. You need to provide certain information to the life insurance companies to make decisions about that application. You might need to undergo medical tests. You might need to provide further requirements. You might need to take a decision whether you should get this customer in or not. So a lot of things are going through as a part of a life insurance application. So how I look at it, that if I need to create the brand experience which resonates with the Indian customers, as much as possible, I need to simplify my journey so that whatever customer is expecting from an e-commerce company, which is a quick, simple journey to purchase any product, that similar expectation I need to adhere to when it comes to a life insurance product. So what we normally do, first thing is, how do I make that journey simplified? How do I ensure as much as integrations into my journey so that customers need not punch in a lot of information on their own? How do I ensure that my journeys are broken in 2 3 parts so that customer doesn't want to do the entire journey at one go, he or she can do it in a staggered manner. So that particular part is number one thing what we work upon from creating that brand experience, because that is the moment of truth. If I end up finding the journey too tedious, I will not do that journey on my own, right? So that's number one part. The number two part would be, how do I bring customer to the overall journey? And that's where the brand experience and whatever we talked about in the previous questions, the organic search part, the content marketing part, that comes into the picture. Customers today do expect from every industry that if you know me, use that information to better my experience. So if I have come to you in the past on your website, I have explored a particular product on your website, if I come back, don't ask me to do that entire exploration journey, find your product where it is, and then go to that page and resume the journey, or maybe resume the exploration part. So they will expect you to have that entire segment based personalization, or my last visit behavior based personalization, that comes as a part of the brand experience. And third, the most important part is, how do we make good use of the creating the nudge to the customer to buy the life insurance product today. Today customers do expect that, okay, yes, life insurance is important, they do know that life insurance is important, but they need some trigger, some nudge to get into that particular journey. And there the entire communication part plays a very important role, where how do I create that emotional appeal for customer to understand the importance of insurance and buying it now? That's where the brand experience gets differentiated from other brands. If I can do these three activities together well, nudging them at the right point of time so that they can think about doing that journey on their own. If they are not completing the journey at one go, how do I create that segment based personalization so that whenever they come back to that journey, either purchase or exploration, I assist them to move into that journey rather than starting afresh. And third part, how do I do that journey in a very simplified manner so that they can happily do that journey, and I can meet their expectation of it being quicker, not as quick as what they expect from an e-com company, but still faster, quicker, easier to manage on their own. So these three things with which we generally try to build our unique brand experience.
Wonderful. And obviously taking the example or the comparison of e-commerce, which is, quite fast paced, I think life insurance as a sector has come a long way in terms of meeting customer expectations by enhancing the experience through various marketing efforts, and which are cutting edge marketing efforts, not something which is outdated. So that is something which is remarkable. Thanks, Prasad. Now, coming to the next question, how do you stay ahead of digital marketing trends to maintain a competitive edge in the Indian insurance sector?
So I don't know whether I am currently ahead in terms of any of the digital trends because they are changing so fast, and you normally end up doing a catch-up game. How I look at it, rather than staying ahead in terms of trends, what one should look forward to is what is working for us. That's how we look at it. So there are multiple things how we go about doing our digital marketing. We know the set of customers. We know the kind of segments who are currently looking for life insurance. A lot of information analytics is available. The most important part is how do we target to those set of customers. So a lot of experimentation is required when it comes to managing the proper targeting, and a lot of experiments do fail. And what we believe that in case of digital marketing trends, uh, like trends or patterns will keep coming, but if it is not relevant to your category, your set of customers, your product category or your industry type, then for the sake of experimentation, we should not do it. Select the experimentations which are very relevant to your industry. That's number one. Like for example, when the entire universe is talking about something called metaverse, that we will create a virtual unit, and through that virtual unit, everybody will interact. That metaverse will get created. It might get created in the future. I'm not denying that. But at that point in time, it was not that relevant when it comes to a life insurance kind of an industry. Yes, few people did few experimentation around it. Also, they didn't work that well. But select the experimentation which is most relevant to your industry. That's number one. That's how we look for any digital marketing trend or any digital trends. Second is, if you are decided that is relevant and you must explore that, then do it early. Embracing an emerging technology earlier is always better than later. Because if it is relevant to your category, like for example, when today everybody is talking about the AI and Gen AI. Now there are multiple use cases which AI and Gen AI can solve for a life insurance industry. If I wait for somebody else to do it, then that brand experience when I talked about, that customer experience and customer expectation, and fulfilling those customer expectations as a part of your brand experience strategy or your brand management strategy, if that is there, then I cannot allow somebody else to give that experience to the customers. I must do that experimentation first. Yes, it might fail. Any technology, any experimentation is susceptible to failure. But what we believe is, if you are failing, fail fast, move to some other thing. But if you are succeeding in that entire part, then scale it up faster so that it can become your brand's competitive advantage, rather than you becoming a me too brand which is trying to embrace that technology after everybody else has done it. So that's the second thing what we try to do. And the third most important thing is, we just try to keep ourselves updated about what is happening in the multiple industries, not just the life insurance industry, but multiple industries, through the conferences, through the seminars, through multiple activities, because a lot of people are doing a lot of experimentations. Everybody is thinking about enhancing the customer experience, and a lot of experimentations are happening in the market, and you get a lot of knowledge there in terms of what is working, what is not working, what you might not have even thought about to enhance the customer experience. Those ideas you do get out of those activities, and that's how we normally start building it. Like if I talk about the digital marketing initiatives for AI or email based models and everything, we have done a lot of experimentation with Google and Meta to ensure that we are available to the customer in whichever format customer is interacting or trying to interact with the brand. And that's where the most of the innovation we have done across the ecosystem to stay in or at par with the customer expectations, rather than staying ahead of the trends. That's how we have managed to do.
What is your outlook of the insurance sector in India?
See, the outlook, my outlook is that it is fantastic. Like we all know that the penetration of insurance is significantly lower in our country, and as a regulator has also decided upon one goal that by 2047 we need to insure 100% of our population and insurable population. So that goal is already set out by our regulator. And looking at these two statements that penetration is low, adoption is low, and at the same time we need to achieve a significant adoption by 2047 or 100% adoption by 2047, the outlook is significantly better. And I think every industry goes through a moment of explosion. So if I talk about how the entire payment industry has gone through a moment of explosion with the help of UPI, or how the mutual fund industry has gone through an explosion with the help of their marketing campaign, Mutual Fund Sahi, and entire ecosystem coming together to simplify the SIP part of it. I think that again created a significant explosion in mutual fund as an industry. I think something similar will also happen in life insurance industry. One day people will realize the kind of risk we all carry in our life, whether it is a risk of mortality, which is risk of dying, or risk of morbidity, which is risk of getting diseased, and the risk of longevity, which is outliving your savings. I think sooner than later, customers will realize the importance of covering themselves against these three eventualities, the risk of these three eventualities. And entire industry is currently trying to build that ecosystem through which the customers will come to know about it. Yes, COVID as an event has already done some amount of like they have increased the speed of customers understanding this particular point. But that one moment of explosion will definitely happen in the overall insurance industry from the customer interest perspective. We all just need to keep nudging customers, keep doing our bit in terms of ensuring that we give them what they expect, we just build the experience what they expect, and we create the products and solutions which can match their unique needs. Because the needs of the people who born in 1960, the kind of needs they had in their 30s and their 35s and 40s, is those needs are completely different for today's generation, whether I call about millennials who are currently in 40s and Gen Zs who are currently in 30s. I think their needs are completely different, and as an industry, we will definitely evolve, and which will result into the kind of goal we have already set up for 2047. I think that's how I look at it from the outlook of the insurance industry today.
Wonderful. I think overall this evolution game as far as India is concerned, and with the growing population and the penetration, and India planning to reach the 5 trillion mark, which seems to be a possibility now. I think insurance sector of course has a very good chance of growing and a long way of prospering as well. Thanks Prasad. Now coming to the next
Definitely.
question, any specific growth stories that you would like to share from your career?
Okay, so I'll just give an example. I will not name
Sure,
the
please.
company I work for. So that company taught me one most important thing, that how do you aim high in life and don't achieve that aim, that is fine. So for example, rather than aiming low and succeeding in achieving that low target, how do you better aim high, and even if you fail, you fail higher than what you achieved as a lower target. So that was a very important lesson which I got, and that created the entire growth mindset in me. So when I talk about this, I'll just give the example as well, that which someone in my previous organization narrated to me, that I had achieved a certain number. Let's take the example that I achieved a 10 crore of revenue for the organization that particular year, and I had taken an aggressive 20 CR target for the next year. And I was thinking that okay, I'm doubling what I had done last year, so it is significantly higher, and it is achievable as well. So that was my aim. And when I was presenting it to the business head, I got the response that think why you can't do 200. So I said I just did only 10 and I'm anyway aiming
Wow,
20, and you are saying that why
amazing.
can't I do 200? So they then business head gave me a nice analogy, and he mentioned that today you have gone into a jungle and you have killed one elephant, and you are saying that okay, I'm going to again go into the jungle and kill two elephants next year. But I'm saying that why not 20? Now you think that what do you want to do, and I'll give you more market insight as well. That in the jungle you are operating in has only 10 elephants. So now you decide how do you want to go about building your plan of action. Whether you want to go into another jungle to get more elephants, or you want to invite elephants from other jungle to your jungle so that you can go and hunt them down. So think from that particular
Amazing.
perspective, and then you will end up creating a business plan which will help you build the growth in your overall approach. And I finally said okay, and I created that plan for 200 CR on an Excel. We didn't achieve it, definitely yes, we didn't achieve it, but we ended up somewhere about 47, 48
Wow,
CR in that particular year, which is significantly higher than what I was aiming
absolutely.
earlier at 20 CR. So that entire thought process of that instead of having a fear of failure in terms of not achieving the target, rather than that having a growth mindset that can I deliver more than what I can do today. Obviously, with the help of a lot of enablers, you need to put into that entire perspective. You need to think out of the box. You need to ensure that whatever you are committing is getting delivered. All those things are there as a part of it. But thinking big opens up a lot of opportunities when it comes to business, and that is the one story I always remember when it comes to any new business initiative I want to take. I always try to aim higher. Yes, I have failed multiple times, but that's how I look at it. It's more of a mindset than a excitement of achieving the target.
That's pretty inspiring, Prasad. Thanks for sharing that. I think that is something which actually defines a growth mindset. So, thanks for that, Prasad. Coming to the last question, you are a senior professional and you have been there, done that. So, just wanted to ask, what are the 4 takeaways for budding professionals that you would like to end up with before signing off?
4 takeaways. Okay, a lot of takeaways you're asking this for. Okay, I'll try.
Whatever
Okay,
might, whatever
four
comes.
takeaways. Okay, so one, the most yeah. So most important thing I would say is that keep experimenting. That there is no fixed solution to any of the activities, and what has worked for somebody else might not work for you. So you do your own experimentation, find out what is working for you, and just be at it. Don't leave experimentation for anything else. Just keep doing that. Second important part is when you're experimenting, execute it well, because ideas are great, but execution is the most important thing. The people who currently win in the market are not the one who are doing it for the first time or the first more advantage. It is more about the better execution advantage. So when it comes to execution, execute it really well when it comes to your experimentation. Third thing I would say is keep the customer experience, behavior, and insights always at the core of what you do. Because generally, what happens, we end up thinking that this is my solution. I will throw that solution to all the customers who are in front of me, and I'll expect them to accept that solution. Rather than that, just identifying the challenges, the problems what those customers are facing, and how do you create a solution for those problems rather than just finding a solution and then force fitting it to the customer need. That's what I believe in. And fourth thing I would say is keep learning. That's what I am also trying to do. Though you mentioned that okay, I'm now good 20 years into my profession, but I still feel that most of the times what is happening that things are changing so fast, so rapidly that if you are not learning those things on your own, somebody else will be far better than what you are today, and then they will easily replace you. If you don't keep learning, And if you're not at par with the trends which are currently happening in the market, then it's very difficult to do a catch-up game later on and succeed in life. So just keep learning. Yes, a lot of things you learn might not help you get any output out of it, but still learn it so that what will happen that one day you will not have a problem of somebody is coming and just replacing you because you are not keeping up with the trends which are happening in the market. So this is what how
Super.
I look at the entire part.
Thanks, Prasad, for sharing those wonderful nuggets of wisdom. I would say that you have gathered since past 2 decades of your experience. I think that is something that will surely inspire our audience. And thanks for coming on the show again and making it a wonderful podcast with a lot of insights on various topics. I can't thank you enough. So pleasure having you.
No, thanks, Mehul, for inviting me. It's my
Pleasure.
pleasure to share all these insights.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of yet another inspiring episode of The Growth Genius. Prasad this time gave us a lot of insights, not just about the insurance sector per se, but also about his take on various aspects of marketing, be it content, be it AI, or be it organic search for that matter. Do have a look at the podcast and also the shorts and reels that we keep posting. We are truly encouraged by the engagement that you provide us on various platforms. We are available on video as well as audio platforms. The link of all of them are shared in the descriptor below. So, till the next episode of The Growth Genius, keep learning, keep inspiring.